Let's get started with the OpenAI Python API library. Before I tried it, I thought creating a chatbot is really hard. I wondered how to handle user input, how to deal with the response from OpenAI, and so on. When I started playing with it, I realized it's not hard at all. OpenAI provides a Python library which makes it easy. Here are the commands to install the package. I have installed it already, so I commented this out. If you have installed the OpenAI package already as well, please check if you have version 1.3.5, since earlier versions would not work with this lab. I also use the .env package, so please install it too. The OpenAI Python library needs the OpenAI API key to work. You can get the key on the OpenAI platform website. As I don't want to add the key to all my notebooks and scripts, I store the key in a .env file and save it in my home directory. You can also save it in the same folder where the notebooks are stored, but make sure that you exclude the .env file from version control. Then import all the required packages. Read the API key from the .env file and initiate the OpenAI API client. I basically followed the standard tutorials from OpenAI, but I added the use of the .env package. OpenAI recommends to use the newer chat completions API endpoint for basic chat completions. On the OpenAI documentation, there is an example how to use it. The most basic form is that you call the method chat.completions.create of the client object with a model and a list of messages. Each message is a dictionary with a role and a content. The role can be one of system, user, or assistant. The content is the content of the message itself. The response is quite a deeply structured object. You can pull out the content from the assistant's response at response.choices0.messages.content. As I found it too tedious to use this again and again, I wrapped the call to OpenAI into a helper function. This function takes the client, the user, and a system prompt, and a couple of other arguments. Then it prepares the messages list for the API call, calls the API, and returns the response message. As longer text is not wrapped in Jupyter notebooks, I also created a print wrapped function. Now, getting a readable result is just a call to get completions with the client and the prompt, and then sending the result to the print wrapped function. The helper function also accepts a system prompt. Here's an example with a system prompt. Now let's tackle chatting. For chatting, you need to send a complete chat history with each call. Start with a system message if you want one, and then send every previous user message and assistant message. And then finally, send the new user message. I updated the helper function to make this possible. I included also typing to make it more robust. For that, I defined a messages class which is just a container for messages. This class also has static attributes for the roles. The helper function now accepts a list of message objects instead of a single user message. In the helper function, the list of message objects is converted to a list of dictionaries. And then it is sent to the OpenAI API. Let's test it with a system message and the user message and assistant messages from the example above. Add a new user message and check the results. This works fine. Now we have everything we need to create a simple chat command line interface application. If you want to try it yourself, pause the video and come back later. Here's my version of the chat command line interface application. I imported all the packages from the notebook and added the Click package. Click makes it easy to create command line apps in Python. I read the API key and initialize the OpenAI API client like in the notebook. Then I defined a default system prompt. I renamed the print web function to print bot message, added new lines and a robot emoji to this function. This makes the printout a bit more readable. The message class and the getCompletions helper function are the same as in the notebook. I created a new function called chat, which is the entry point for the Click application. It accepts a system prompt as optional argument, and if the system prompt is not given, it is set to the default system prompt. Then I initialize the messages list with a system prompt, let the bot say hi, and start the chat loop. I wrapped the content of the loop in a try except block to catch the keyboard interrupt. Then I ask the user for input, add the user messages to the messages list, get the assistant messages with the helper function, and print it with a print bot message function. Finally, I append the assistant message also to the messages list, and the loop goes on again. At the end, I catch the keyboard interrupt and print a goodbye message from the bot. Then I exit the program. And that's it! In just 100 lines of code, I created a simple chat app with OpenAI and Python. Now let's test how it works. Everything's fine. I hope you had fun with this lab, and you can find the notebook and the Python script on the website aiwonders.app. If you have questions, please use the comments below. And if you want to get notified when the next lab is ready, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. See you in the next lab.